past report on transit in Regina, the council committee recommended that the council consider further enhancements to conventional transit routing in the 2014 budget, which requires a 2014 budget increase. At the Community and Protective Services Committee meeting on April 10th, Councillor Young wondered if there may be some way for the summer construction season to be used as an opportunity to convince employers in the downtown area to encourage their employees to use Regina Transit and reduce parking and traffic congestion. This is a serious possibility. The Regina Transit Employer Pass could be heavily promoted or even adapted after the Boulder, Colorado Eco Pass, and I've included a link for information on that type of pass. Additional incentives for employers who buy their employees a pass for the year or maybe just this summer could improve traffic and parking downtown while increasing Regina Transit revenue immediately, so additional buses could be more easily purchased sooner rather than later. Employers with parking spaces that are not needed would realize additional income from people outside of their company as they rent them out to those who choose to drive. And I'll skip ahead a few sentences here. If Reginans saw that more prominent people that using the public transit, that would help to dispel the social stigma created here, that the bus is not intended for everyone to be able to use it. Councillors Young and Fraser recently attended paratransit for a tour in order to gain experience, and I applaud that effort. Quote, "What would make you want to ride the bus?" End quote. That's the question Boulder, Colorado politicians asked people in order to learn what the system had to look like, and they made that happen rather than using a top-down imposition of service onto people. In Regina, many people I know don't feel the bus system that they would want to use will ever be available here. I'm not so pessimistic. Design Regina and the Transportation Master Plan have given transit users and other citizens a chance to tell the city what they would like to see in order to create the ideal bus service. It falls on council's shoulders to find ways to make that available here. Skipping ahead a bit. Comments I had made to me following the committee meeting included these, and these are a quote here. "Not investing in transit due to low ridership is a self-fulfilling prophecy," and that's by Chad, but not the Chad you're all thinking of. "You've got to spend money to make money," said Naomi. "Could the city talk with the province about getting more staff on Regina Transit?" asked Luke. And Steve had a multi-part answer. "Eliminate parking requirements for new building construction and expand parking metering. Use the parking meter revenue to fix sidewalks and otherwise beautify downtown." If public employees receive free parking, which in most cases they most certainly do, make them pay. Number 3, get an express bus from the University up Albert Street all the way north, or possibly to the Galaxy movie theater. The current focus is backwards, putting more emphasis on feeder routes than on major transit routes. Arms aren't much good without a spine, says Steve. So skipping ahead a little bit. People are asking you to spend their tax money on improving transit service. You're unlikely to hear from any delegation or other engaged citizens that they'd rather you not build a world-class public transit service here. You have everything to gain by focusing a little bit on this issue. And if you do hear from anyone who is against better transit, beware the costs and consequences that flow from their position. And I list a few of them for you here. Climate change. Aside from nuclear war, this is among the most grave threats to civilization known to humankind, and it's predicted to vastly change the geopolitical landscape this century, as well as, of course, the average weather in Regina and the world. Then less seriously, traffic jams. Each bus removes multiple cars from the road. Also parking congestion. Parkades could be built at an approximate cost of $33,000 per stall. Parkades will not solve the air pollution problem that cars present us with, and parkades are also regarded as ugly buildings by most people I know anyway. Reduced air quality. Motor vehicles produce air pollution that creates smog and shorten lives. Reduced economic opportunity. Many young professionals and millennials choose to live where they can live a complete life without owning a car. Having an unsuccessful transit system in an unwalkable city will cause some people to choose to live where they have that service provided. The City of Regina officially recognizes the importance of reducing greenhouse gas emissions in many of its present and long-standing policies. My hope that is more effort will be expended now that over 2 decades have been used up finding only minor efficiencies and reductions in greenhouse gas production. It's time to get real. Skipping ahead a bit, our city website fails to mention transit as an important factor in determining how much energy is consumed in our city. The City of Saskatoon suggests citizens there consider using transit to reduce their environmental impact, and they thank the City of Regina for some of the information contained on that webpage of theirs. Quote, "For the average person, vehicles are one of the biggest contributors of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. Think about carpooling to work, starting a walking school bus for your kids, taking a city bus on your errand, or walking to the local grocery store," end quote, from the Saskatoon website. Barry Verbanovic, the president of FCM, describes transit this way: "Public transit isn't a luxury, it's the key to a strong economy." The following are requests for service improvements from nearly the number of people who provided comments to the Regina Transit Survey earlier this year. That survey was the basis upon the changes recommended by the committee earlier this month. It's my hope that the petition's respondents will encourage City Council to act more boldly in the much needed directions outlined here. So on the petition, what they've signed is in favor of is more frequent stop times after 9 p.m. for routes serving major streets. On Sundays and holidays, use the Saturday routes and schedule, which I'm pleased to see is on the recommendations in July. Express routes on major roads, including but not limited to Albert Street, Broad Street, Victoria Avenue, and Avenue East, Dudney Avenue, and Rochdale Boulevard. Where possible, bus-only lanes will be created and strictly enforced to reduce transit delays. As an aside, this fits with the Mayor's recent interest in investigating snow routes. Another point, enough paratransit resources made available to reduce by half or more the 2011 monthly average number of stranded users requesting service by the end of the year. Bus or shuttle service to the Regina Airport. My petition identified 5 areas of improvement. The last point mentioned was to create a bus to the airport. Since there's no sidewalk or bike lane connecting the rest of the city with the airport, a bus is urgently needed for public safety and convenience. Also, Regina's tourism industry and national reputation will improve if we don't force people newly arrived to our city to pay for a cab ride or require friends or family to pick them up if they're not renting a car. And I'm holding up a bus transfer. Day passes could be bought on the buses. The transfer printers are capable of doing this. This method doesn't require a tourist or other user to find and attend the transit office when it's open, then buy the pass after already traveling specifically to get a pass for travel. And then a few references that you might be interested in, including how many people were denied service on paratransit last year, which is 15,000 ride requests. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Klein, for your presentation. Other questions or evaluations? There are none. Good presentation, and thank you for your ongoing support of the transit system in the city.
Thank you very much. Here's for the city clerk, the petition.
Thank you for that. So,